Yeah, here at Wildfire, I had a customer, Rich, call me about a pro line that he had. It was his first boat and didn't really know what he wanted when he bought it, and then he started modifying things as he went along to suit his liking. He does a lot of diving, and he had a concern about climbing in and out of the boat, where basically he had to step on the back seat, then sit on the top of the transom, which had a pretty good slope to it, to get into the water. So he wanted to know if there was any way we could put a bracket on it and put a walk-through so he could go through unobstructed to the transom. We went ahead and agreed on doing the job, and then what we did is we cut that center wall out. I added some structure to the bottom, tied it across the two stringers. It also acted as a support for the floor. And then we built a floor panel that was basically flush with the interior of the boat so he could walk straight through the transom. Then we installed the bracket. Finding the center line on this bracket installation was a little bit different than most. Usually you go from either a hard chine corner or you go from a strake, because it's important to have the bracket mounted perfectly to the bottom of the boat. That's the most important thing. Well, in this particular boat, there was no hard chine. It was a rounded transom corner. So what we had to do is we take a straight edge and we run it parallel with the bottom edge and extend it past the transom, and I take my measurements from that to find the center line. So that way we have a true center line, there's no guessing on it. All in all, I think this was a big improvement in the boat because, like I said, getting in and out of the boat was tough. And by moving this walk-through, he didn't lose any space at all inside the boat because we simply took a piece of the well wall away. He actually gained some space, and accessibility is super now. It's just, you really couldn't get any better than that. The way it's for getting on and off the boat. I mean, you just walk straight through, right over to the ladder, turn around, and step down in the water.
I wanted to increase space, the ease of access, the getting on and off the boat, having the additional space to come up out of the water if you're swimming or diving or spearfishing, and opening up the back of the transom so that you could easily move from the inside of the boat onto the bracket and in and out of the water.
One of his concerns, Rich is a pretty good-sized guy, and he had installed a second bilge pump, and he said it was a real pain in the neck because they only had that 1 8-inch pipe plate to work through. And that's a problem we see with a lot of boats. So I told him about Armstrong's 10 by 20 flat panel, which is made for people to walk on. So we put that in there. Now he can get both arms in there, put his head in there, very easy to work now inside that boat. And that was one thing he was concerned with, and he was really happy the way that turned out.
I think it turned out great. Mike does a great job. He is really he's a craftsman. He's a perfectionist. It's one of the things that I noticed about his work watching the show probably a year, maybe a year and a half ago, and I decided that I wanted him to be the guy to put the bracket on. I knew it would be done right, and it'd be done in a manner in which there'd be no questions about the quality.
You could tell he's put a lot into this boat. Being his first boat, like I said, he just wanted to make sure it was really nice. That's the type of person that he is. And you could see, the color was kind of different for a fishing boat. You don't see too many boats come in that color. He also had the top powder coated, and he designed a lot of the top. Did a lot of customized work to it. For a first boat, he did a lot of pretty cool stuff. So I think he's really going to like it. Obviously he's going to like it because he's willing to put money into it. He's putting a new motor on the boat now. I think he's going to enjoy it for a long time.
This is the first boat that I've owned, so I wanted to get into the boating at a reasonable price. So obviously buying a new boat wasn't something that was going to allow me to have much money, for other things. Just the gas to run it. So this is my start. This is my entry into it. It's my ability to find out how much I like boating. I started off with a low budget investment, and we'll see where it goes.